Okay, so what we're going to be doing here today is rebuilding the Hope X2 and Tech levers. Rebuild both the caliper. Just take it in, take your time. Okay, so got the caliper done. Now it's time to rebuild the lever. Basically what you want to do at this stage is just break the lever down, get it into as many pieces as you possibly can, and I'll just run you through how to do that. So first of all, you want to get the lever off, and make sure you just retract all the little adjustment screws all the way. It's just going to make your life a little bit easier. Now here's a little thing that took me a while to figure out. Deep down inside the recesses of the lever assembly is a little grub screw. And you can see the Allen keys going in there. It just lifts down there. And what you need to do is you have to loosen that off so that you can get the pivot bolt out. So just loosen it off. You don't need to take it all the way out. That's loosened off now. Now this is where your two little 3mm Allen keys are going to come in handy. And this is a two-part pivot bolt. So just get those in there. And you just got to break those loose. There we are. Get those out. And what I like to do here too is just to use the screw to help push that out. Now you want to kind of hold on to the lever as you pull the pivot bolt out, just because there's a big old spring in there and a couple little bushes, and they tend to go flying all over the room if you don't. So there we go. So hold on to that, and I'll just get this out. So there you go. There's your lever and your spring. There's a couple of little brass wear bushes inside both the lever and the little pivot assembly there. Make sure you don't lose those. That's that. Get the master cylinder caps off. Just want to take it apart so we can get in there and get it nice and clean. Okay, now in the back of the master cylinder is a little one of these torque screws. That's what basically holds the master cylinder piston in there. To loosen that off, just grab your little Torx bit, twist that out, little screw comes out. You slide out this sort of horseshoe shaped plastic, well not plastic, metal retaining ring. Get a finger onto the plunger there, just to stop that from shooting out in your face, because there's a big old spring in there. That comes out, and just slowly release. And there you go. Alright. So that's your master cylinder plunger there. That's what pushes the fluid down the line and into the caliper. Is you want to get the primary and secondary seals off of the master cylinder plunger, and that's where your little screwdriver comes in handy. Now you want to be very careful because it's just soft aluminium. You don't want to score that up as you're prizing those off. So just take your time. There you go. There's one off. And there's the second one off. Alright, so that's our little plunger assembly in the flesh. Just want to give that a little clean off. It's okay, so we want to install our new seals now, our new little primary and secondary seals. Now you'll notice a difference in the plunger here. This back part closest to where it exits the lever assembly is a little bit bigger than the front part, and the seals themselves correspondingly have different size holes. So that's the primary, it's got a smaller hole. That's the secondary, it's got a bigger hole. Now when you install these, you want to make sure you're putting them right around too. So think of this as a little umbrella basically. It's going to push the fluid down, so the flared side goes away from the outer end of the piston. Just make sure you put them on the right way, or it won't actually push the fluid. Again, I like to just lube these up with a little bit of red rubber grease just to make sure everything is going to go together nicely. So get those on, just work them on, take your time, don't nick the seals. If you nick the seals, then you've got to throw them away. So there we go. It's a little plunger assembly with some nice fresh new seals on there. See how those seals flare out towards the bottom? That's what you want, flaring out there, so I can actually do a job of pushing the fluid down the master cylinder assembly. Finally, you just need the little outer dust cap seal, so make sure you put that on with the little dust catching lips facing the outside. Don't do it the other way around, as it won't seat properly. Just pop that on, and she's ready to basically reassemble. Now just have a little look inside the bore of the master cylinder, see if there's any scratches, gouges, any gunk built up in there. Again, just maybe give that a little bit of a clean out with your earbud with a bit of brake cleaner, not too much. You don't want to contaminate it. There we go, all nice and clean in there now. So as I'm about to put the plunger assembly back in, just want to get a little bit of that red rubber grease around the port here, just so everything slides back in nicely. And there we go. Just wiggle it around a little bit, get that first seal in. Wiggle it around another little bit, get that second seal in. And there we go. Alright, horseshoe goes back in. I like to use a little bit of an Allen key just to seat that outer seal down properly. Okay, so that's our seal in there. Now we just want to start buttoning things up again. So there you have it, basically got all the seals replaced inside the old tech lever there. It's essentially ready to get reattached back onto our rebuilt caliper and bleed as per normal. It's not a big job, but it is quite a good one to do, and nice to be able to renew your gear so it's ready to go for you. Hope you enjoyed that little video. Stay tuned for more. Bye.